Welcome to the Freelance Thrive. Here we talk with skilled freelancers about their professional journey. Stay tuned for real-life experiences to learn and actionable steps to take to improve your freelancing career. My name is Yuri. I'm community builder at CodeControl and 9am.works, and my guest is Dimitri Abalenkov, a freelance certified product owner and Scrum Master with over a decade of experience, who graduated with double Master of Science in Information Security from Norway and Germany, and he even knows 9 languages. So, welcome, Dimitri.
Hello, hi.
And the first question, you're a product manager, and the first sentence in the About section of your LinkedIn page is building beautiful digital products that users love using. So how do you know if they will love it while you build it?
Yeah, it's a good question, Yuri. And it's not easy to answer, and there's no like right and wrong to answer that question. And I think you can easily write a book about it. It could be like a title of the next book. And so I can only share like my vision on that. And there are, of course, like different product managers that see it in a different way. And I would say that you kind of try to build an MVP, and you do like small steps, and you get like constant feedback from the users, and ask and try to understand where are the pains and how can you make their life better, so that they eventually will love the product. And I guess another important point is to not only ask like what they need, but also to understand the why. You know, like I'm sure you've heard this famous talks from Simon Sinek to get like to the point why they need this feature. And if you get to that, this is like the golden piece of information. And then you can work with it further. So you don't get like this kind of simple answer is, yeah, we need this button in blue. But if you understand why they need this button in blue, maybe you can deliver more than just this button. You know, it may be like a drop down or whatever. So yeah, so it's like a constant circle of developing a bit, talking to the users, learning, and developing further and further. And also, by not only talking to users, I try to have a look at the competition to understand what they're doing, what's on the market. And it's amazing. Sometimes you read reviews, like if it's an app, if we talk about, I don't know, App Store or Google Play Store, you can go online and read reviews about the apps and understand super quickly where the pain points and what users like, what they love, and what they hate.
It's a great tip, you know. And have you ever had this feeling when you build in some application and then you go to App Store, find another application, and understand that they already did it and they are great in it?
I didn't, to be honest. I'm not a product manager that specializes on apps, be it Android apps or any types of mobile apps. I'm more developing products that are web-based. So it could be like a website or a part of a website or backend system of a website.
So have you ever had this feeling when you are building a website and you already found another one, which is like doing exactly what you are trying to do and they're good in it? Have you had this?
Definitely. Sometimes you stumble upon products that are much better than yours, and you're like, wow, that's amazing. So why are we not doing that in a similar way? So you can definitely learn a lot from just like checking out what's out there, you know.
And how do you feel about copying something from others, like take best parts from them to your product?
Unless you're not breaking the law.
Yeah, totally.
I feel good about it, because you know, like there's a saying that you cannot like reinvent the wheel anymore. So people just see what others are doing and piece by piece making their own masterpiece. So definitely, I think the whole market kind of evolves and gains more if you look around and you check what's the Bob doing and what's Alice doing, and you combine the learnings and move forward with that. So definitely, yeah.
And you are talking about why. So how do you ensure that you are getting exactly this why? I mean, what questions do you ask
Mhm.
so that you understand what people need and why, but not what they
Mhm.
think they want, what they really want?
Yeah. So as I mentioned at the beginning, like the simple question to ask would be like why you need it, and try to and try to like kind of get this information from the users. And it's also about like there's this term like data driven product development. And data driven could be like thousands and thousands of insights that you get by, I don't know, looking at Hotjar analytics if we talk about websites.
Mhm.
But it could be also just by talking to users uh, in simple user sessions. Like, I don't know, you talk to 5 users a week or a month, and you ask for feedback, and you just look what they do and how they use your product in action. And by doing that, I think it sometimes is much faster to get to this why, instead of asking them directly this question, why you need it. Sometimes they don't know. Sometimes it's difficult for them to get to this core answers. So yeah, so there is not one way that leads to Rome.
Are you doing these interviews one-on-one, or maybe you collect focus groups?
Good point. I used to do them one-on-one, but usually it's not one-on-one, actually.
Mhm.
Sometimes you have an observer, sometimes you have a person who takes notes,
Mhm.
and you have a moderator. So, and you need to mix up. Sometimes you're the observer and you just look over the shoulder how the person is performing during the test. Sometimes
Mhm.
you're the
Mhm.
notes taker, and sometimes you're the moderator who asks questions and tries to like get kind of this food, the fruits out of this test.
And how do you feel about focus groups?
Uh, by focus groups, you mean like if there are multiple people and you just concentrate on students 19 years old living in Berlin?
Yeah, something like that. When you collect people in one room and they are doing some
Yeah,
tasks for you.
I am not a big like definitely it's one way to do that, and you can do that, but I feel that you will get kind of biased opinions because people sometimes will be shy to raise their hand and say something. Sometimes they will be biased in a way that, okay, well, if I will say this, maybe it's going to be stupid, so I will rather not say anything, and other people will judge me.
Yeah,
So there's like
totally.
a lot of things that play here, kind of a big role. But definitely, it's also a way how to get some feedback from the users. And if you see that, I don't know, 9 out of 10 wants the button in blue, so it kind of gives you a direction, an indication of where you might need to dig deeper and develop further.
Also, on your LinkedIn, you wrote that one of my biggest strengths is empathy. So tell me more about it. How do you embrace empathy and how it helps you?
Yeah, another good point. Like the idea actually does not come from me. I also discovered it from other PMs a long time ago. But it's like lying on the surface actually, because the idea is just to being able to go into like pick the shoes of a different person and understand what are the pains of this person. For instance, if we talk about, I don't know, users, like what are their pains? If we talk about other stakeholders like UX designers or business owners or whoever, like I don't know, like for an investor, it's important that the product generates money.
Hmm.
For a security engineer, it's important that the product is secure and not buggy. For developer, it's more like quality. It's not like going to developers and saying, "Oh, you poor little developer." So it's more about really being able to transition into this role and understand what do they really need. Like developers, for instance, need sometimes more focus time instead of having lots and lots of meetings.
Yeah.
And users need more quality and new features, and so on and so forth. So like a PM usually is like on the front line, and you're in a constant conflict, actually,
Yeah,
because
exactly.
people sometimes want from you different things. And sometimes you need to play like a Ryanair flight attendant who says like, sit back, relax, and enjoy your flight, and apologies like for a little delay or something, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah. And do you have this information out of your huge experience? And you already, like when you're joining a new team, you already know that developers need this one, security guys need this one, SEO need this one. Or do you always have conversations with those people in every new team to understand their needs?
Both. So you kind of bring experience from your previous projects, but you also need constantly to talk to people and understand. Like people, like in different companies, you have different teams, different products, and different business owners. And sometimes business owner also brings a lot of empathy and says, yes, I understand, and that's why let's concentrate on the quality and on the UX, and only then build up the business model
Mhm.
and squeeze in, I don't know, advertisements like Instagram or whoever. But sometimes it's exactly the opposite, and the business owner tells you, no, we need to generate money from day one, and I don't want to wait for, I don't know, whatever magic is going to happen.
Yeah, yeah. And you know, my next question was, as a freelance product owner who is not a full team member, what helps you assess the project the fastest to be sure that you are
Mhm.
moving in the right direction? But I also understand that part of this is those conversations. And are there any more parts that helps you?
Um, exactly. So I think from day one, like a freelancer, be it a product manager or a developer, if you jump in on a new project, it's usually like a cold shower, you know,
Exactly.
and you need to try to orient yourself super fast and super quickly. And you don't, sometimes you don't have time, and the clients expect from you to perform from exactly the day that you are onboarded. And I try to do that by talking to people, as you mentioned, but also to asking, could you please point me to the roadmap if there is one? Could you
Hmm.
please point
Hmm.
me to the backlog so that I can check what have been done, and what's the plan for the upcoming sprints if we talk about Scrum. And sometimes if there is a Google Drive location where there are like all the docs, or there is Confluence page that I can read, or if we talk about Slack channels, then I try to scroll up as far as I can, if I have the possibility to do that, sometimes in my free time, to understand, you know, and get the feeling, what are they fighting with, what are the challenges, what's the situation in the team and in the company. And this way, piece by piece, you kind of build your puzzle and
Hmm.
move on.
You know, Dimitri, I feel like you are a very kind person, but I bet sometimes you deal with some aggressive people. So how do you
Yeah.
deal with aggressive behavior?
Uh, yeah. Mm, I still try to be kind. And by the way, thanks. I take it as a compliment, not as a assault.
Exactly, it's exactly a
Yeah.
compliment.
And I try to stay calm, understand why the person behaves in this way. And there are different, like, it's more like a conflict management, actually. And there are
Mhm.
different ways to manage each and every conflict. Like, you can, you know, I think there are like five. You can run, you can, you know, go directly into the fight, and you can freeze, you can analyze, and so on and so forth. So if someone behaves in this way, of course, it also depends on the setting. If it's clear to me why this person behaves in this way and I know how to deal with it, I will still try to play Mahatma Gandhi, and and give away my positive energy. And sometimes people are kind of they get it. Sometimes it doesn't work that well, and they only understand kind of force. So you need to let's say fight back, and only if you kind of defend your ground, if you stay your ground, only then they will understand, okay, this person knows what he's talking about, so I will stop behaving in this way.
From your experience, is it more about logics or emotions, or maybe connected?
Why the person behaves in this way?
I mean, like explaining to person how it works and defending your ground. Is it more about like logical steps, like, look, we have this, and this, that's why this? Or do you add some emotions there, how it works for you?
I try to keep emotions away and try to do it in a more logical way. And this is the reason why actually a person behaves in an aggressive way, because this is where like emotions come into the game. And if you understand, again, I'm kind of always getting back to Simon Sinek, if you understand the why is this person being aggressive to you or to the team or whoever? If you do like a little user interview with this person, I guess then you can take it away. And this is also where the empathy comes into the game. When you try to understand what's the problem, I guess then you can take the emotions away and put your more rational side up front.
Got it. Dimitri, I wish to have the sky is the limit, but time is the limit. So the final question, you know it. What is your favorite food?
Yeah, so my favorite food, as a person who grew up in Latvia, I'm a big fan of Latvian bread, and there's a national dish. It's called bread soup. So it's a soup. It's like a dessert. It's a soup made out of breadcrumbs.
And it's a dessert.
Yes.
Okay.
Breadcrumbs, dried fruits, nuts, and everything is kind of boiled together. And when they serve it with the whipped cream on top, and really, it's amazing.
Yeah, I feel like it's very tasty. And thank you so much for sharing your experience, Dimitri. And it's been such a pleasure to hear and learn from you.
Thank you. Thank you, Yuri. Bye-bye.
And thank you so much for listening. If you like the show, hit the like button or 5 stars and share it with your friend. That's it. We're done. See you in the next episode.